Make some noise for your amazing host.
Hey friends, thanks for stopping by. Now, I had to order some parts for your truck and the mail moves a little slow in Hope Falls, so I'll keep you posted on when you can get back on the road. I hope you've been enjoying your time here in our little town, evening campfires, hands-on projects over in the shop, and hearing stories from our residents here in Hope Falls. Speaking of, let's take a look at what Mr. Coyote is up to today.
Coming up.
Can we make this soda pop? Don't wander too far. There's more of Off Track right around the corner.
Quick, do you call it soda or pop? And what's your favorite kind? While you're thinking about your answer, here's what's next. First, we'll watch a pre-show video, then we'll worship together, and then listen to today's Bible story around the campfire with Mrs. Coyote and some other friends. Right now, you can select the download button below this video to access your Get Real guide. Inside, you will find everything you need to stay on track during the week, including questions to think about and fun games to play. I'm thirsty, so while I go grab a soda, you guys can check out this video.
Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we have some fun stuff for you. We are opening letters from a couple of our friends in California, and very much like a message in a bottle, but different because these are messages in balloons that we can't wait to pop and find out what they are. Let's check it out on Mail Time.
All right, our first letter is a tiny little letter from San Bernardino, or San Bernardino, right? If you're from there.
San Bernardino.
Okay, this is, ooh, I see a rose on the back. Let's pull this out, and, ooh, look at that. That small letter grew in size. Look who we have here. We have our very own Louis letter.
Looks like it is from a friend whose name is Willa.
Ooh, Willa.
Yeah, Willa.
It says, Sandals Church is the best. Yes, it is. And then it says, it's mail time. Willa, thank you for your awesome Louis letter. I love the colors that you chose. I love his tongue hanging out, and I love his expression. So awesome.
Okay, this looks like it is from a friend whose name is Luca. And Luca says, Dear Sandals Church kids, I love all that you teach me, and I want to say thank you. And Luca actually included this amazing drawing of a super cute, super fun elephant.
So awesome. Okay, friends, so our last three letters come all the way from Moreno Valley. We received these letters, and they're inside these balloons.
That's right.
And we just know that we're gonna have to pop them to get them out. So if this is too loud for you, plug your ears, because we're gonna pop all three and see what's inside.
That one felt extra loud.
Can you hear me?
What?
So
Okay.
good. Did you get all three?
We got all three of them.
Wow.
Luckily they landed close by. So let's start with this one. From Layla.
Ooh.
Mr. Coyote, if I were to guess,
Yeah.
I think this is a drawing of you and I.
I think you're right. You wanna know how? Because I'm wearing stripes. Hey, I'm wearing stripes.
And I'm wearing glasses.
Yeah.
And you're also wearing a beard.
I'm wearing a beard. Yep.
I think those are I have a pair of green framed glasses.
Is this a drawing of us like right now? Like, look, they couldn't do the white jacket. So like, look, I only have hair right on the top. I love that. This is so great.
This is awesome. Thank you, Layla. I love that.
So good. Okay, our pink one, let's open this up. Hi, I'm Kayla, and she drew a picture of herself with a Louis letter, and it says, Hi, I'm Louis letter, and then this one says, Hi, I'm Kayla. I like the proportions there because Louis letter is like about the size of a kid, which I always picture a Louis letter being like this size.
Yeah.
But according to Kayla, Louis letter is ginormous.
I love that.
Yeah, if Louis letter was that big, we probably could have mailed these balloons to us. So good.
Okay, this next one comes from, it looks like someone named Taylin, and she says, love you, have a good day. Hope you're having a great day too. And on the back, she drew some hearts and a rainbow with lots of fun colors. Just a sweet overall kind note.
Okay, I absolutely love your drawings. I love the paper choices that you chose. I love that you folded up. I love that you put a balloon, and now I love that I'm slowly losing my hearing. But friends, if you are watching this saying, hey, how do I get
How
my
do I do
letter
it?
featured on Mail Time? There are two awesome ways that you can choose. The first is to send us mail, and you can do that by sending your letter to Sandals Church Kids at 150 Palmerita Avenue, Riverside, California, 92507. Or you can actually just email us a letter, have your parent email something, or ask us to do a challenge or a drawing request, and you can mail us at mail@sandalskids.com. And whatever you choose, we are excited to read your letter, respond to you, and we can't wait to read some more next time.
All right, friends, it's now time to worship. Today, we're talking about how God can restore our hearts, and because of that, we can choose to know who God is. Do you have an idea of who God is? Maybe you know He's powerful, loving, kind, gracious, and you might know some other words that describe Him. The best way we can know who God is by reading the Bible and sitting in prayer. Worship is another great opportunity to know who He is by reflecting on the lyrics of the songs. Think about the words while you worship today. Let's worship now.
God doesn't let sin win. God doesn't let sin win. We sin over and over again when we're mean to our friends and we push people away. That's the outcome of our sin. But our God's gonna make it right and bring our sin into the light. He gives us hope we can't outrun because He cares about us. God doesn't let sin win. God doesn't let sin win. Hope will rise again. God doesn't let sin win. There's justice in the end. So be nice to your friends. God doesn't let sin win. Yeah, God's gonna make it right and bring our sin into the light. He gives us hope we can't outrun because He cares about us. Oh, God doesn't let sin win. There's justice in the end. So be nice to your friends. God doesn't let sin win. God doesn't let sin win. Oh, God doesn't let sin win.
In this life there are many things, like big houses and diamond rings, but nothing compares to you. Like my phone and my video games, I like them both, but they're not the same, 'cause nothing compares to you. And nothing replaces you. Are there any gods like you, God? No, no, no. There are no gods like you, God. No, no, no. You are wonderfully holy and amazingly powerful. And you do great miracles. Are there any gods like you, God? No, no, no. There are no gods like you, God. No, no, no. You are wonderfully holy and amazingly powerful. And you do great miracles.
No other God can split the sea. No other God gets capital G. Other gods are made of sticks and stones, but you're the only God that's on the throne. You're the only God who gave life to me, and the only one who died for me. Nothing compares to you. Nothing compares to you.
Are there any gods like you, God? No, no, no. There are no gods like you, God. No, no, no. You are wonderfully holy and amazingly powerful. And you do great miracles. Are there any gods like you, God? No, no, no. There are no gods like you, God. No, no, no. You are wonderfully holy and amazingly powerful. Yeah, there are no gods beside you. There are no gods beside you. There are no gods beside you. Nothing compares to you. Are there any gods like you, God? No, no, no. There are no gods like you, God. No, no, no. You are wonderfully holy and amazingly powerful. And you do great miracles. Are there any gods like you, God? No, no, no. There are no gods like you, God. No, no, no. You are wonderfully holy and amazingly powerful. And you do great miracles.
As we gather around the campfire today, we're talking about the story of Ezekiel and the skeleton crew from the Bible in Ezekiel 37, verse 1 through 14. We'll learn how God gives people who turn away from Him the fair justice they deserve, as well as the undeserved hope for their future. This week, we'll see how God can restore our hearts, and that means we can choose to know who God is. So lean in, warm your hands by the fire in 3, 2, 1.
You know what? I'm really starting to think that you kind of like being stuck way out here. Well, you know the drill. Go ahead, grab a chair, a marshmallow, grab a mug, and settle in because it is time to imagine. I want you guys to imagine if you were taking a hike in the mountains with your family. You were walking through the forest, enjoying the birds chirping, the smell of fresh, clean air, and the sun on your face. Then you see some dead, rotting tree stumps ahead of you. As you get a little bit closer, you notice the rotten stumps start to move and shake a little bit. So you take a step back and you realize the tree that was once dead and rotting was starting to grow. All of a sudden, a thick, strong trunk sprouted straight out of the dead stump. Then bark began to cover the trunk, then the branches, and finally a bunch of green, fresh leaves unfurled. Well, what would you think? It would be pretty miraculous to see something that was dead start growing and coming back to life again, right? Well, did you know that a prophet or a special messenger from God named Ezekiel saw something very similar in the Bible? If you guys are feeling a little bit chilly, put your blanket on, get warm, and I'll tell you exactly what happened with Ezekiel. Okay, so last week we left off in our story when God spoke through the prophet Jeremiah to call out the Israelites for not following him. God told them that he would destroy the temple that they worshiped him in as a consequence for the evil things that they just keep continuing to do. Well, later, Isaiah and Jeremiah's prophecies, or their messages from God, they came true. So God brought judgment or consequences to the Israelites by allowing them to be taken into captivity by the people of a place called Babylon. The Babylonians took the Israelite people away from Israel and the special capital of Jerusalem. They destroyed the temple in Jerusalem where God lived among them. And they forced the Israelites to move far away from home where they were not free to live how they wanted to. It was a very, very hard time for the Israelites, and it lasted 70 long years. So we pick up on our story during this time, which is a time called the exile. Now, during the exile, a prophet named Ezekiel had a vision from God. And in this vision, Ezekiel was in the middle of a valley surrounded by dry, dead bones. God asked Ezekiel to give the bones a message. So Ezekiel was supposed to tell the dead bones that God would give them breath, muscles, flesh, and skin, and that God would make them live again. So Ezekiel told the bones what God had said, and suddenly there was a loud rattling, and the bones came together to form skeletons. And muscles and skin appeared on them, but the bodies weren't alive just yet. So then God told Ezekiel to tell the wind, which represented the Spirit of God, to go into the bones and make them live. And the bones came to life, and they made a huge bone army. So then God told Ezekiel what the vision actually meant. So the dry bones in this vision actually symbolized the Israelites' dead faith. They had turned so far away from God that it was as if their faith had died, completely like the dead bones. God promised that He would give the Israelites a new spirit that would bring their faith to life again, just like the wind brought the bones back to life in the vision. Well, talk about a super weird and crazy dream. In the last few weeks, we talked a lot about how God was bringing judgment or fair consequences on the Israelites for their sin. Even though God allowed them to go through the difficult time of exile, He still never left them. After the punishment of the exile, God once again gave the Israelites another chance to follow Him. He even promised to give them an entire new spirit, one that loved God. What an amazing promise! And did you know that God does the same thing for us? He may give us just or fair consequences for our actions, but He also gives us a way to come back to Him. He does the hard work of making our faith and our hearts new again. All we have to do is let Him. And that's why He sent Jesus to die for our sins. And that's why the one thing to remember is that God can restore our hearts.
God restoring our hearts reminds me of a cool trick that I can do. I have this empty soda can here that I can fill up without putting any more soda inside. You want to see how to do it? So I'm gonna actually slowly shake this can and we're gonna see what happens. Here we go. Take our empty can. Oh. Whoa. And we did it. Whoa. This can has been completely restored. That's looking good. Now, the last thing we need to do is see if we can restore the lid. Now the can has been completely restored, so let's see if we can actually fill it with soda. Here we go. Oh, now I may have been able to restore this, but God can restore our hearts. Our memory verse for this series is found in the book of Ezekiel, right before the story we just heard. Part of it says, "I will take out the stubborn heart like stone from your bodies, and I will give you an obedient heart of flesh." We are stubborn and sinful, just like the Israelites. But God takes our stubborn, sinful hearts and makes them completely new again when we make the choice to follow Jesus. Jesus came and traded us His perfection for our sin so we could have new hearts or a new way to think and act. But God didn't just give us new hearts for no reason. He gave them to us so we could use them to know and love Him. That's why our action step for today is that we can choose to know who God is.
Hi, my name is Janelle, and I want to tell you about a time I chose to focus my life on God. I became a single mom at an early age. It was just me and my daughter. For me, it was the scariest and most unsure path I was walking. I felt very alone, which had become a common feeling throughout my life. My feelings of loneliness were partially because of some bad choices I had made and partially because of some bad choices the adults around me made. I knew early on I wanted to raise my daughter in the church because it wasn't an experience I had as a kid. I grew up knowing that God existed, but I didn't understand that I could actually know who God is. I didn't know that I could choose to focus my life on Him. It took some time for me to feel comfortable in church. I still felt very alone, but my daughter absolutely loved it. She had her favorite teachers, her favorite Bible verses, and looked forward to Sunday mornings every week. So we kept going back. God brought an amazing man into our life, and he and I got married, and we became a family of 3. Just like myself, my new husband wasn't raised in church. But we continued to attend church as we grew our family, and we jumped in to volunteer where we felt God wanted us to. Our family dynamic started to shift. My husband was given an opportunity to pursue his dream career in law enforcement, and I was given the opportunity to dive into children's ministry, which is something I knew nothing about. And our kids were watching us every step of the way. I knew we were doing something right when at 2 years old, my son stopped us and demanded that we listen to him pray. The choice I made years prior in a very hard time in my life was a choice that has changed my family for what I can only pray will last for many generations to come. So just like I chose to focus my life on God, you can choose to do the same.
We're still waiting on those parts for your truck, so while we wait, let's go over the series memory verse from Ezekiel 36:26. It says, "Also, I will teach you to respect me completely. I will put a new way to think inside you. I will take out the stubborn heart like stone from your bodies, and I will give you an obedient heart of flesh." We saw in our story how Ezekiel had a vision about dry bones coming to life. This vision represented how God was going to give the Israelites a new spirit so their faith would grow once again. That's why the one thing to remember is that God can restore our hearts, and that means we can choose to know who God is. You can live out the vision of being real with yourself, God, and others by opening up your Get Real guide to the Now What. Take some time to go outside and play. Run, jump, wave your arms, skip, do a little dance. And after you finish playing, think about how hard it would be to do any of those without muscles. God says that's what our lives are like without faith. We need God to bring our faith to life, just like muscles bring our skeletons to life so we can play. So thank God for giving us a new spirit of faith. You're always a guest here at Hope Falls. We'll have you back on track in no time. We'll see you guys next time.